The following recordings detail the activities of a government agency that officially does not exist. Since 1928, they have protected humanity from the forces of darkness, with honor but without glory. Declassified recently, these files have become known as the Danger Files. Welcome to the Danger Files. My name is Dan Thompson, and I will be your handler for this mission. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new Patreon show. This was a little bit of a surprise. Wasn't expecting this to come out quite so it is. And I've said a bit in the intro, explained it, but basically Scott got a very good new job, and he's not leaving the show, but he's not able to keep running Danger Games in on the schedule that it was. So we've decided to park Danger Games for the moment and bring in our brand new show, which is what you're listening to at the moment. It's the Danger Files. It is a tale of mystery, a tale of conspiracy, a tale of the things to which we do not speak in the world. That was getting very wordy, wasn't it? Let me introduce you to our cast. Let me introduce you to the people who are going to be going on this mission. First of all, the incomparable voice of Ross Harmston. Ross, how you doing, buddy?
Diddly 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 dee dee dee. Dee, 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 dee. That's the X-Files theme tune.
It is.
There you go.
It is, yes, yeah.
Perfect. Yes, I'm good. I'm excited to play this game.
We also have the sultry voice of Mr. James Lockhart. How you doing, James?
I've been better. But, I've been struck down by an alien virus just in time for the mission, so yeah.
You sound sexy, man. This is going to be a sexy game.
Really, yeah.
It was like all the way back ago when Dan recorded previously on the Danger Club podcast when he was like ill.
Yeah.
So it made it sound like he was like really deep voice. So maybe you need to record some of those previously on the Danger Files.
Previously on the Danger Files. Yeah.
That's how we got around having to hire additional actors back in the day. We just wait till one of us was sick enough to have a voice that sounded different.
Yeah.
But that's not our entire cast. We have a third cast member today. Please, everyone, welcome to the show, Mr. Jeremiah O'Connor. Jerry, how's it going?
Good. It's going good. Everything is fine. It's slightly warm in my room, but I'm good. I'm very happy to be joining you in whatever this is going to be. It's quite exciting to be some sort of American pilot.
I'm very excited to have you on the show at last, Jerry. So, Jerry, we gamed together back in the very early days of all of us. Like this whole experience of us playing games together started well over like nearly 15 years ago. Is it that?
I think so. 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, something like that. After a job in London. We were like, after an acting gig, we were like, what should we do after today? And I was like, I've still got some D&D books. And a few of us went over to a pub and we played D&D. We played the 3.5 adventure Bad Light, which we just played on the main show with Stu Jackson. And in that original party was you, Jerry. You, Drum, and Scott, the original people who were in that game. And then other people who have never come back to the show.
Yeah, the original Danger Club.
Yeah.
The original Danger Club, back when we were kind of just using it as a word to ironically refer to the nerdy thing that we did after work to make it sound cool. It's good to have you here. Jerry, tell us a bit about yourself. What do you do?
Well, I'm an actor. I used to be an archaeologist. I have a degree in history and archaeology. So I do a lot of, like most actors, I do a lot of random things that aren't acting more than I do acting. I roast beef in Hampton Court Palace. I have, at one time, had to stitch a turkey to a pig, to another part of a turkey, to another part of a pig, to another part of a turkey, to another part of a pig, with a pig's with a turkey's head and neck coming out of the pig's ass, which was topped.
Is that what archaeologists do now?
No archaeologists,
Yeah.
just actors. Archaeologists would never do something so terrible.
No.
Only actors would do the stupidest things asked of them without any questions, just a growing sense of dread and all the colour gradually draining out of one's face. And I work in the Crystal Maze experience, shouting at people about how bad they are at things and trying to make them not be sad, because everybody turns out in the end is quite thick, and they can't accept the fact that they're thick, and it's quite difficult to make them still be happy when they're realizing they're thick in real time.
Oh my god, we did that Crystal Maze experience when it first opened. And we were so bad at it.
We were medium thick. We
No,
were
I
low to
suppose-
medium
yeah.
thick, I think.
I did all of my games. I
Did
all
you?
of my games. I did. But they were more like put the thing in the box kind of things, not the puzzles or the mysteries. It was just like there you go.
My best memory of that day is watching Dan in the I think there was
In
like
the
these
barrel.
rolly
The barrel, yeah.
in the barrel, rolling backwards and forwards in this barrel. That was so
He
funny.
looked so concerned and just upset about how life had put him in this barrel. It was just going round and round. So.
I mean, that's life, really. I mean, that was Dan's
Yeah.
entire life in one go, I think. Dan in a barrel.
Yeah.
How did life put me here?
I've never looked more like one of the Muppets, haven't I, than when I was tumbling around in that. Limbs and panicked expression. Oh my gosh. One of my tasks was like one of those slidey puzzles where you have to move the tiles around to kind of make an image. And I walked in and immediately our guide was like, yeah, this one's actually really hard. I don't think anyone can do it. We're probably just going to take it out. So, I mean, have a go.
Yeah. It was incredibly complex. There were so many pieces to it. It was just like, what? How are you supposed to do this in 2.5 minutes? It was like, yeah, they're probably going to
Never
change
going to
this.
happen.
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
But let us not reminisce too much about old times. Let us reminisce about the future, which is in fact the past, as I'm going to explain that. What are we playing today? Well, let me tell you, we're doing something that I've wanted to do on the show for a very long time. We are playing a game called Delta Green. Ooh.
Has it got the X-Files soundtrack?
No, we still can't
It
license
has,
that.
because Ross is here.
Yeah, Ross will be until it gets. So if this gets taken down, then you'll know why.
It was Aliens.
It was the
was the aliens.
Aliens sent us a cease and desist order because they wrote that song. So Delta Green is a game by Arc Dream Publishing. It's a game about federal agents or a mysterious agency investigating the unnatural, the forces that lie beyond reality, the things that threaten us and that the public must not know about. Very similar to Call of Cthulhu, if you've ever played that. It has a lot of similarities, certainly in mechanics and in theme, but it's much more... Delta Green is a lot more kind of X-Files-y kind of conspiracy show, men in suits trying to cover things up, that kind of thing. Crucially, it is not a show about, I don't want to say succeeding, but it is not a show about thriving. This is a show about terrible things happening to your characters and about how they process that and how they get through that. That's not to say the game is completely impossible and you're definitely all going to die. But this isn't a game like D&D or Pathfinder where you solve it by drawing a weapon and running in and fighting the thing. If that happens, things go badly. You are going to have to protect your agent's body. Your hit points you have hit points like in another game, but injury is much more real in Delta Green. Delta Green takes place in the real world, or a fictional version of the real world, and injuries are very similar. If you get shot in Delta Green, there's a good chance you're going to die. If you get stabbed and you can't get hospital treatment, well, there's a good chance that you might be seriously injured for some time. But likewise, you also are going to have to protect the mental well-being of your character. Your characters will have a sanity score. They're going to have willpower. They're going to have stats that reflect their ability to just carry on and just be okay. And as you encounter things that are unusual, that will start to affect it as well. So there's a lot going on in this game. How are you feeling about the idea of facing something quite so very, very different to what we've played?
Easy, yeah. It's going to be like We Be Goblins, where you just, you die and then just someone else wanders into shot and then you just play that character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Death should be embraced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistic death.
We played RuneQuest, I think it was, for
I knew you
my
were saying
birthday. And in the first, I think it was the first, half an hour, Jerry was dismembered and, got his arms cut off or something, because they have,
I think he
limb
lost his
damage.
legs.
Yeah, lost his legs. And then, but you survived, I think.
I did. I lasted quite a long time, considering I didn't have any limbs.
Yeah.
You did, and I remember you being
Everyone else was dying
horrified.
continually, but I was just limping on.
With the rules, you're horrified because it's like, what? So I've got no leg now. It's like, no, apparently you've lost your leg. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But it was really arbitrary as well. It's just sort of like, oh, you roll on an injury table. Yeah, you've lost a leg. You're like, what? How the fuck? From fighting a goat? Yeah. Take your leg off, mate.
Because this was RuneQuest, first edition or something. This is the original when D&D had first come out, and a bunch of companies were like, "Oh, that's making some money. Let's try and make our own version of it." And it's so I remember the character gen was incredibly unfair. You just roll your background to begin with, and we ran, and everyone around the table rolled noble. I was like, okay, so you get really good stats. Here's all of your weapons and things you start with, and all of your money. And then Jerry, you rolled peasant.
Yeah, that's generally. I mean, you're going to see that I have terrible luck when it comes to rolling in anything. If there's ever a game where somebody can be guessed to be a traitor or some sort of person, I will always be the person who is guessed to be the traitor, and I am never the traitor. But for some reason, there's something about me that everybody always thinks I am the person to pick, to lose, or to roll the worst, or to do anything. Yeah, I've never won a lucky toss in my life, which will continue, I imagine.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. It'll definitely continue.
One's all the way.
Yeah.
Should we make some characters? What we're going to do, Dangerlings, the plan for this episode is we're going to set out the world, a bit like we did with Danger Things. We're going to set out the world, we're going to make our characters here live on air, and then we're going to do a little bit of an intro, get to know these characters a tiny bit, start our story off, and from episode 2, we're going to get into the real meat of the story. Let me explain the setting in which we are. The year is 1998. And we are on an Air Force base called Platte Air Force Base, Platte AFB, in the great state of Nebraska, near the small town, I say near-ish to the small town of Marion, Nebraska. I Googled Marion. I had a little look on Google Maps for it, and it is about as in the center of the United States as you can get. If you threw a dart right at the center of America, you would hit Nebraska. I did a little Google of images of Nebraska to see what the scenery is like there, and it is a lot of pictures of corn, a lot of pictures of fields, occasionally pictures of men in 10-gallon hats angrily running for office and shouting on podiums. I found a picture of applications for the corn board of Nebraska. They like corn there.
Who doesn't like corn, you know?
Or maybe they don't, and they get punished.
Yeah.
Because you get sent to Nebraska to grow corn when you hate corn. So,
Well, you get sent to Nebraska to get punished in the Air Force as well, because Platte AFB is not Top Gun Academy. Platte is the place where careers go to die. It is one step away from a court-martial. It is the last stop before a dishonorable discharge. People who get sent to Platte get sent there because they have upset somebody important, or they've made some mistakes, or the Air Force just can't figure out what else to do with you. Platte is a facility for dismantling planes, for dismantling aircraft. Aircraft will come in now and then. A technical crew will come in from outside of the base. They'll help strip it down. They take the fuel away. It gets taken up to the boneyard. It gets wrapped up, sealed up against the elements, and then left there. Then the crew go away again, leaving the 12 permanent members of staff on Platte Air Force Base to just while away the days, trying to amuse themselves and trying not to get in any more trouble than they already are. The one saving grace at Platte Air Force Base is the weekly poker night. The poker night that takes place on a Saturday night in the NCO office. And that is the day where we're going to join our crew of reprobates trying to make their way through. And we're going to find out maybe if something strange might be happening on poker night on Platte Air Force Base. So that gives you an idea of the kind of characters that we're going to be making here. We're not making Tom Cruise here. We're making people who have made some mistakes to end up on this Air Force base. Let's start with the broad concept, shall we? Ross, have you got an idea of a kind of character that you want to have a go at?
Oh yes I do. I've got a sort of name and like sort of the background. It's just more the like finer things and the skill, like all that sort of skills and things like that, and the stats. My name is Norman Tully, and I am using I'm an air traffic controller. I used to be an air traffic controller until something happened. There was a disaster in which I was blamed for. I think is my fault, but actually I was used as a scapegoat by the government so that it would save someone's job. Ooh. So I've been now moved to Platte Base, and I've got some other little character things. I mean, I don't know if I'm 29, nice. So basically, in terms of look and stuff, I mean, I'll do that in the episode probably when we start playing, but it's basically Rick Moranis, okay?
Nice.
Think Rick Moranis, black glasses. He's a bit of a dweeb. Yeah.
Okay, bit of a dweeb. I tell you what, while we move on, do you want to start rolling so we're going to roll some stats, will be the first thing we'll do. So you got 6 stats in this game. You've got strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, power, and charisma. Power is basically the same as wisdom in a D20 game. It's your ability to stay focused. It's going to affect how good you can keep running. To roll your stats, you roll 4d6, you drop the lowest, and then you add up the other 3, and that will give you a score. You do that 6 times, and then you assign those among your stats. So I tell you
what did you say again?
So it's 4d6. 4d6, drop the lowest, add up the rest.
Okay. Yes.
We could do point by, but I think it's
6.
funnier to do those.
6 for my first one.
Your first one is a 6.
Yeah, because I got 2. I got a 1 and a 1, and a 3 and a 3. Take the lowest away, did you say?
You take away the single lowest die, so you take one of the ones away.
Sorry, 7.
7. Okay, so you got a 7 for you got 7 for one of them. So do you want to do that a few more? We'll go over to James. We'll hear a little bit about James's character while you roll your other 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do the same. So James, tell us a little bit about. So we've got an air traffic controller who maybe caused a plane crash. Who else do we have, James? What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking more of a character who they're a bit older, a bit more sort of like grizzled. Wears an eye patch, and his name is Flake Pifkin, and he's an ex-Marine, ex-Navy SEAL, ex-husband, ex-alcoholic, and he became a sort of pilot, but he's not someone who stands for authority pretty quick. So yeah, he's kind of been kicked out of each branch of the military, and somehow the Air Force has sort of kept him on, but he's clearly found himself very swiftly at Platte Air Force Base.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So he's like, what job do you see him having on the base?
I mean, again, he'd want to have some really important job, but he's probably hammering out panels or something like that. Really, really, something that he can properly complain about.
So they've really they've really got him down onto kind of.
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm Flake Plifkin. You need to give me something good. And I'd be like, yeah, you're cleaning the thing over there. I'd be like, what? Come on.
In charge of maintenance.
Yeah,
I like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that's good. Okay, that gives us something to work with. Do you want to go ahead and do some rolling for us?
I should do some rolling.
Amazing. Tell us your first score and then we'll go over to Jerry just so we get an idea of where it's going.
So we got 6 scores, and how do we work? Because this is a D100 system, is it?
Yes, it is. It's D100 for your main stats. So when we get on to the actual skills, all of your skills will be out of 100, and to try and achieve anything in it, you want to be rolling under that score.
Yeah.
But one of the things we don't use D100s for is your main stats, is your actual abilities. So strength, strength, con, dex, intelligence, power, and charisma. For that, we're going to roll 4d6. Discard the lowest scoring die, add up the other 3, and that is your total.
Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to use my dice roller on my screen.
Ooh.
I know.
They can let you down sometimes.
Okay, that's pretty good. That is 14.
A 14 is very good. So that's double what Ross got for his first one.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Thanks.
So Flake has effectively like graduated from all of the most difficult training programs in the military, but has then flaked out of the actual job once he got it.
It's more that as soon as he got there, he was just sort of like kicked off with authority, and it's just like, but you literally, because he's capable, and he's quite strong, and he's quite like, think Kurt Russell, that kind of person.
You think?
But only like crap Kurt Russell, if he just wouldn't, as soon as he get in there, he'd be like, "You going to do that?" It's like, "I'm not doing what you're telling me to." It's like, you literally just went through basic. I'm crap Kurt Russell.
I'm very excited. So crap Kurt Russell and Rick Moranis so far are all right heroes. Amazing. Go ahead and roll some more stats while we hear. Jerry, have you got some ideas for a
Yes, character? I do. So my character's name is Pete Whiplash Yeager, and he was originally a captain in the Air Force. He's 47, which means by process of math, he was born in 1951, and he graduated top of his class in 1968 and flew sorties in the. He's been involved in most military. I looked at a Wikipedia page of American Wikipedia conflicts, American conflicts during the 20th century, and there was too many, so I just sort of forgot to look at that anymore. He flew sorties in the Vietnam War, the beginning of his career, dropped Agent Orange, and he helped train Iraqi Air Force pilots during the Iran-Iraq War, which for some reason is a conflict I have interest in. I don't know why. And then later on, during the first Gulf War, he joined up with some of these pilots he had helped train years earlier, and they went on the hunt for Saddam Hussein's Babylonian gold. Don't know if that's a thing, but it is now. And then he was caught during this operation. And because he knows so many U.S. secrets, instead of being cashiered out of the military, he has been sent to Platte AFB. He's been married 3 times. He has 6 kids, all estranged. The children's names are Bruce, Brad, Betty, Barbara, Boxy, and Blake. He has lung cancer, yet he still smokes because he doesn't give a damn. And I'm thinking of him as kind of like a crap Clint Eastwood, basically.
Amazing.
With his sunglasses off, just sort of an asshole, general asshole.
Isn't that the plot of Three Kings?
It is. Yes, a film I haven't seen. So
it's a great movie. Oh, I like it. Okay, so he's going to be quite senior, I guess, just by virtue of his career. So it will make him one of the more senior people on the base, which is great. Which is very much fits to have somebody who doesn't. But
I think he's probably just driving utility trucks around, like fuel trucks and stuff. That he's not allowed near an aircraft. He just has to drive these those stairs, those movable stairs.
Yeah.
Maybe if they have those on Air Force bases. I don't know.
The little trucks that drive the things that are the most fun to steal in GTA games. The stuff that tows the aircraft around and things. So he does kind of vehicle stuff. Oh, I like that. Okay. So I reckon Pete's probably a lieutenant, given his experience. Maybe first lieutenant, probably where he's ended up. Flake is probably a senior airman. Probably shouldn't be with his career. No. But he's, I think, just through that seems, given that he only ever seems to go in at a certain level, he's probably senior airman. Ross, I reckon Norman is an airman first class. He's at the start. He sounds like he's at the start of his career. He's not quite basic. Airman basic is like the lowest. Airman first class is like, okay, you've got some responsibility. So I reckon that's kind of the chain of command of where it fits in it. Should we come back over and see some stats then? Ross, have you got some? Have you got all of your things rolled? Oh God! Right. Okay.
So I've put my lowest scores are 7 and 7. So I put strength as 7 because he's not going to be very strong.
Okay.
and my charisma 7, because he's not that charismatic. Then we go up to 9, and I'm going to put that in power, because I can't think of any other one to put it on, really. My constitution, however, is 16, so that's good.
Wow.
And
tough.
my dexterity is 12, because he's quite wily and small. He's quite agile. And my intelligence is 17, so he's pretty clever. Even though he's not clever, because he's very clumsy.
But he's secretly a genius.
Yeah, I rolled 17 on one of them. I was like, geez, it's never
That's a really good score.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that we do with these once we put them in. Once you've got those assigned, you'll see there's a box next to it that says times 5. So for that is literally whatever that score is times 5.
Okie dokie.
That allows you to then roll D100s and make sort of strength checks. So that'll give you a score to try and roll for that.
I assume all these character sheets will be available to our patrons potentially. Yeah,
I think
so
we're
gonna
gonna make these available so you can see these characters.
Yeah, and how bad they are. Yeah.
There's also a box for what others notice. So for particular stats, so a score under 9 or a score over 12 are considered exceptional. They're sort of out of the ordinary for a lot of people, to the point that you might notice something about the person because of that. So a 7 in strength might be because of an injury that you've once had, or it might be that people notice that you don't like to work out, or there's something like that might give you an idea of it. Or a high score, high score in intelligence might be you play computer chess a lot, or it's a chance to add another a little thing about your character that people might pick up on.
So it's under 9 and over
12. They're the ones you kind of you want to put something on. It's not a mechanical thing to that, but that gives you an idea of what that gives people an idea of it. So it's stuff we can bring up in the game. Let's go over to James. How you doing on those stats?
Yeah, not bad. It was a real range.
Okay.
So I've gone for strength 17.
Biv's a monster.
He's very strong. He's very strong, Snake. Flake, rather. Then the Constitution is my next biggest score. It's a 14. So he's hardy, he's strong.
Yeah.
Dexterity 12. So he's quite dexterous.
Nice.
Intelligence 6. Oh
my god!
He's really not very clever, which kind of makes sense. Like he powers towards training, and then it's just sort of like not like dribbling idiot, but he's just not very like. Dude, what do you think before you said that? Power? I can't remember what power was, so I put a 10 in it.
Nice.
Is that your sort of willpower sort of thing you said?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
There is another stat that is called willpower, but yeah, it's your ability to kind of keep cool and to stay focused on things.
Cool. Yeah, so that's a 10, and then charisma of 7.
Charisma 7. That seems to make sense.
Yeah.
So he's a giant of a man.
He's big crap, Kurt Russell.
So just this hulking guy driving around, just doing maintenance around.
I think he just with a mop, that sort of thing, mopping about. Because you've got to mop up planes.
Yeah, you got to mop those planes.
Yeah, you got to mop those planes.
Just dragging the planes by himself.
Yeah, he puts the planes where they're supposed to be. He just sort of drags them in there.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so go ahead and put those in and work out your times 5.
Yeah, just times them
if you want to put some other notices ones. Jerry, how are you doing? How is Pete doing?
So true to form, I have had some fairly bad rolls here.
Oh no, Pete.
So strength 9. He's quite old. He has cancer. So I thought, he doesn't need to be too strong. He has a constitution of 15. So I thought because he's an Air Force pilot, he's probably used to doing high speeds, various numbers of Mach, which I assume means he would have high constitution. So that's what I did. Okay. And he has a dexterity of 10, again, because he's quite old. Intelligence 11, which is okay.
Yeah,
middling.
not bad.
Power of 11, and charisma of 8.
Charisma of 8.
Because he's an asshole.
They're not very charismatic, are they?
No.
What was your charisma, Ross?
17.
17.
17.
Oh no, sorry, 16. Sorry, 16.
16. Okay.
Good.
So
good. We have got Rick Moranis is the face of this party.
He's the most charismatic man on
sorry,
base.
no. Charisma is 7. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, so we are a charismatic bunch of people.
No one likes these guys. Oh my gosh.
Christ.
Okay, we can work out a few things from that. So we'll do your next to your derived attributes. These are things that we work out from what you've already rolled. So that's
Do
your
you
hit
want to know
points.
what the things that they notice about me?
You know what I do, Ross? Tell me what you notice about me.
So for my strength, because it's 7, he's got asthma.
Okay.
So he's always taking an inhaler, and he also never works out. You can see he's quite weedy. Because he's got 16 constitution, he always eats fruit and vitamins. So he's always got to have his set fruit and vitamins. So he's very healthy in terms of that. So that's why he's got a good constitution. Dexterity, I don't really know. Like, it's 12, so he
Doesn't need.
Yeah. He just in intelligence, he's got glasses. So it's the
that's
90s.
smart.
So everyone, as soon as you got glasses in the 90s, everyone thinks you're really intelligent. So there you go.
Anyone with glasses is smart.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have some more distinguishing features that they want to point out about their characters at this point?
Yeah, I'm fucking massive. I don't think he's that massive, but he's like ripped kind of thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, with a charisma of 7, then Flake is always kind of frowning, and he looks sort of. You'd think it was like, it's because he's thinking intense thoughts, but as you know, he's got intelligence of 6. So he's probably not.
Like picturing the sliders on this, and someone's just slid up the size thing to maximum, and then gone over to the eyebrows and just slid them down into a little frown.
Yeah, it's just that.
Grumpy man.
Grumpy man.
Gosh.
So what others notice? It's above what score? Or below which score?
So under 9 is exceptionally low, and over 12 is exceptionally high. So they're the kind of ones that you might want to think of a reason why people notice it. You've rolled sort of fairly consistently, haven't you, Jerry? Like they're all kind of.
Yeah. Well, I've said strength. He has a pallor, almost a death's head, which is very obvious. He's very pale.
Excellent.
And for his constitution, his teeth are always braced and visible. He's continually looking like he's braced for an impact at all times, even when he sleeps. And his charisma, he doesn't make eye contact to the extent where he doesn't even turn his head to look at you. He just always looks directly ahead, no matter who he's talking to.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, let's do some derived stats. These are your hit points, your willpower points, your sanity points, and your breaking point. These are things that we get the numbers for from everything else. So your hit points are what you would imagine they are, tracks your physical health. When your hit points reach 2, you are unconscious. When your hit points reach 0, you are dead. There's no recovery checks or anything in this. And a lot of weapons, like we say, if you get shot, you may well be a goner. Depends where it hits you. Your willpower points represent literally your willpower, your willingness to carry on, your willingness to keep on in the face of adversity. Once they come down to 0, then you basically fall unconscious. You are just unable to do anything. You're just a wreck. Willpower points can be restored through rest. Hit points can be restored through medical help. And in some cases, rest, depending on the severity of the injury. Your sanity points represent your grip on reality, your ability to cope with the kind of stresses that you're going to be exposed to in the course of your time with Delta Green. Whether that be violence, whether that be feeling helpless, whether that just be exposure to the unnatural, discovering the truth about the world that is enough to drive a normal person insane. When your sanity points reach 0, you effectively become an NPC. Your character has completely lost touch with reality and they are unable to function. They are gone beyond any kind of recovery. You also have a breaking point. Your breaking point is a lower number. Every time you go through your breaking point, your character suffers a mental break. So there'll be an immediate reaction in the moment, which will affect how they are at that point, but it will also have long-term trauma to your character. And this can happen multiple times. Every time you go through your breaking point, you suffer the effects of it, you reset to a new breaking point, and then you start counting down to that again. And gradually your characters suffer more and more. So, let's work out some fun things. Your hit points. Your hit points is your con plus your strength divided by 2 and rounded up. Just because we're not playing Pathfinder doesn't mean I'm not going to make you do some math. What have we got, Ross?
Con plus strength, 23. And then it's, what did you say, sorry?
Divide it by 2.
Divide by 2, 11.5.
So round up to 12. 12 hit points. Okay.
Great. Is that good or shit?
Yeah, it's not bad. Let's see how it compares to the rest of the team. James, what has Piff got?
Okay, it's 16.
16. Okay.
Yeah, fuck you.
Aha.
We gotta.
I got a fucking constitution of 16, bro.
I know, but
Tough
I've got
guy.
a strength of 17.
Well, that's true, yeah.
And he's already got a high, and you've got no strength really. How about old Senior M and Jaeger?
Also 12.
Also 12. Okay, those aren't too bad. Okay, let's do your willpower points. Your willpower points is your mental fortitude. So when you try and suppress symptoms of insanity, or when you become exhausted, if you try and resist interrogation, things like that. That's the sort of thing you'd use that for. It's very easy. Your willpower points is exactly equal to your power. Some mixed reactions.
Okay. I kind of feel that power is going to be very important.
Yeah, I recall yours being quite low, James.
Huh?
I recall yours being quite low.
It's 10. Yeah, so.
Okay.
I mean, mine's 9, so don't
Mine's
worry.
11. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of.
Oh, we're all just we're a very sort of like balanced party.
Yeah.
I like that it's kind of the same as in D20 games. It's always the stat that's like wisdom is the same stat in those games. You're like, is this really? I don't know. I'll just put this number in it. Whatever. I'm sure it won't come up. And then you have to make will saves on it, and it can come back to get you. Let's do your sanity points, shall we? Your sanity points represent your mental health, how much exposure to the unnatural you can endure before you go completely insane. So, your maximum sanity points, and at the moment your current sanity points, equals your power times 5.
Fucking power again.
It's power again. And let's do the breaking point as well before we do our totals. Your breaking point is your total sanity, your maximum sanity, minus your power.
36.
44.
So with a sanity of 50, it means that every time you encounter the unnatural, or every time you encounter something strange, you have to roll sanity. That is a 50-50 shot of passing that roll.
Right.
Not.
Good.
Splendid. Excellent.
And once you hit your breaking point, something really bad happens. Okay, that's your basic. That gives you an idea of who those characters are. Now let's give them their statistics. Let's give them some jobs. Have you had a thought about kind of what you want to put in as a career? I know most of you, because we're on an Air Force base, pilot is always an option. But there might be some if you're sort of engineers, or there is a special operator might be something that's worth looking at for you, James, given his background in special forces. That will tell you what your starting stats are. So it tells you what scores to put into your skills. So your skills are what you roll whenever you try to achieve something. If you want to shoot a gun, you roll firearms. You want to look something up in some county records, you roll bureaucracy. When you're rolling a D100 and you're trying to roll under that number. So the higher the number is, the better. The bigger the goal is that you're shooting for in that case. But also, a higher number makes it so sometimes you don't have to roll. If you've got a high number in something, you may not have to roll. You only ever have to roll if there are severe consequences for failing. If it's significantly difficult, so if the difficulty is probably a bit higher than your skill level, you might have to roll for that. Or if you're under stress. So like combat is always under stress. If someone's shooting a gun at you and you're shooting back at them, you're always going to be rolling that, even if you've got like an 80 in firearms. But it might be that you've got like a 60 in law, and you want to look up some fairly simple facts of law. You don't have to roll on that. You're not going to suddenly forget some important cases. You can just say, I've got a 60 in it, and it's like, that's fine. Okay, you find those things, you look it up. It might take you time, but it won't fail at that completely. So, have we got any ideas of what we want to go for in terms of a career?
I think I'm going to go for pilot, but I'm going to steer it towards, obviously, the whole flight navigating vibe. So I'll take some bits and pieces and move them. I've started. So you just put it into the right-hand box. Do you tick it as well if it's the skill?
No, the tick box is for when you make a check. Every time you fail a check during a game, you put a tick next to it, and then at the end of the session, you increase that score by a little bit. So every episode, you will get a little bit better at the things that you failed at as you learn those sort of things.
Okie dokie.
So you're thinking pilot, but you're going to move a few skills around to kind of make it a bit more navigatey. That makes sense.
When it says pilot, choose one, what does that mean?
What are you a pilot of? Because remember, you could be a pilot of a ship, you could be a pilot of a helicopter, you could be a pilot of a fighter jet, you could be a pilot of a bomber, a cargo plane. Yeah. What are you specialised in?
I guess fighter jets. Do they need air traffic control? Like fighter? Oh yeah, fuck
course
yeah. I'll just do
yeah.
fighter jets. Yeah.
They do, but do you have fighter jets in Microsoft Flight Simulator 1998?
Yeah, this is true. Oh yes, for those that don't know, did I say it at the beginning? I can't remember.
I can't remember if it was off there or not.
He is avid Microsoft Flight Simulator 98 player. He's done over 100 hours in that game, even though it's only just come out this year as well. So he is every waking moment off. Like when he's not in the flight navigation tower, he is playing that. So that's kind of like where he gets his pilot stuff from as well. So let's go for a Boeing 737. He was a
commercial pilot.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I like that. That's good. So he flies so you could put like airliners. He flies passenger. Okay. He's flown passenger planes. That's kind of his speciality. And I love that he got that through Flight Simulator, not through his actual Air Force training.
Yeah, of course.
That's tremendous. Okay, so go ahead and put those skills in. What about the other two of you? Have you got an idea of?
Well, I'm definitely a pilot of fighters.
Fighter pilot. Nice.
So just copying over the percentages to the skill tree.
With pilot, there's some at the bottom where you choose two options from foreign language. You can choose to pilot something else, you can have heavy weapons, or you can have a military science. So that gives you a bit of an idea. And James, what are you thinking?
I think special operators probably sort of go on. Although it makes them, it's almost too good, but I know it's not. It doesn't work that way because I've played systems like this before, and it's amazing how you can have a high percentage and still just totally tank the rolls. So, yeah.
Okay, so he's a proper military vet, so he's got a lot of these options. Once you put all your skills in, you have 8 bonuses that you can put wherever you like. So you pick 8 skills and add 20% to each one, and you can stack these 20s. The only rule is that no skill can be higher than 60. Anyone taking anything interesting from those?
Well, I guess, I'm going to, because of the Babylonian Gold incident, I'm going to put 20% into archaeology.
Nice.
I guess. Makes sense from his background.
For the listeners, I'm going to start telling you about bonds, because that's what we will do next. Your bonds are human beings. They are your human contacts within the world. They are the people that you rely on. They're the most important people in the world to you, and they're the people that will help you ultimately to keep a grip on what is real, to keep pulling you back when the nightmare that you're facing starts trying to drag you down. So we're gonna think of some people that are close to you. The number of bonds you have depends on the career that you have chosen. As pilots, I can tell you that the Airman Tully and Lieutenant Yeager, they're gonna have 3 bonds. Because you've got a bit more time. As a pilot, you've got a bit of time to maintain things. Whereas Senior Airman Flake Pifkin, is only going to have 2 bonds. Because he's dedicated so much of his career to repeatedly reinventing himself as a badass.
Oh, yeah. I don't need friends.
Let's have a look at some of those bonds. So now you've got your stats in. What I want you to do is I want you to think about your bonds. They will be a person. They might be one of your kids. They might be an ex-wife who you're still in touch with. They might be like my drinking buddy that I went on a mission with, and we talk about. They might be like the guys I stole the gold from, the guys that I was involved in the gold heist with, and we still keep in touch. They are the people that you would go to when you need to kind of just restore things. How they work mechanically is they give you a chance to have little scenes where you can restore sanity by spending time with them, but they also protect you from sanity loss. Whenever you fail a sanity roll and you would lose sanity, you have the option to deflect that loss onto your bond. So you can spend some willpower points, and as a result, what you do is rather than losing sanity, you lower your score with your bond. And it represents you basically deflecting the anger that you, or deflecting the stress of this onto another person. And what will happen then is that later on in the game, at some point, we'll play out a little scene that explains how your relationship with your ex-wife suffered from the fact that you spent, you were going to lose, you were going to use 3 sanity points, you deflect it onto your bond, you lose 3 points from your relationship with your ex-wife. Okay, we're going to play a little scene that plays out what happened there that strained that relationship more because of how stressed you were from work. So they can protect you, but they're gonna suffer. Your starting score for your bonds is, I think it's your charisma score. So none of you are going to have a very good starting score.
No.
Good.
So, anyone got any ideas of some bonds?
Can I have a bond with my desktop computer?
What a bond! You're going to have a bond with Microsoft Flight Simulator with your computer.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be?
So
Wouldn't it be Clippy?
Yeah.
So that's like your sanctuary.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's not really a person, but I think we can make that work.
And then my second one would be with Chuck Yeager, because I love listening to all of his stories about like what he's done, and I look up to him like that.
Okay,
Is
so
that
you're using each other as a bond? Yeah,
Wow.
you can. Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. And then also my wife as well.
And you got a wife.
You have a wife?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Janine.
Yeah, Janine Tully.
What? And she puts up with all of this Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, but she's not happy. She's not happy in there. Like she's been forced to this base after like me being moved over there. She's not happy. She drinks a lot. She chats to the other women, the wives on the base, and she's
Wives allowed
Janine
on the
wouldn't-
base.
No, Janine won't be on base.
I don't think they're allowed.
no. I
Is
I
she
used
actually
it-
real?
Yeah, no, she's real. I pretended that she was my sister to get her on the base. No. Like as a lie to get her on the base, I was like, oh, she's my.
I don't think you know much about it. Like, sisters and family aren't allowed on bases either.
Yeah,
It's military
no, but-
personnel. Like, pretending your wife is your sister is not going to get her onto the base. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Okay,
Is
so
she literally, is she just made of, like, oil drums and rags?
She has to put on a moustache, and she is she has to pretend that she's my friend.
okay,
Your friend.
how about this?
No, it's again,
Again,
not
a
gonna be
non-military
allowed.
person.
Yeah,
It's a
not going
random
to be allowed
person.
onto the base.
Well, actually, he's got a moustache. So
Well, it's all right with
How
me.
about Jean lives in Marion, lives in the town 30
Yeah, there you
kilometers
go,
away,
there you go. Yeah, that's fine.
and she comes onto the base, like she's part of the delivery crew that bring supplies to the base,
Yeah.
and she wears a fake moustache to be part of that crew.
Pretend she's my sister.
To pretend you've built this web of lies, unnecessary lies over the last few years that you now have to maintain.
Yeah.
Because you thought that it wouldn't be fine to marry the delivery person.
Yeah.
Amazing. You've got a wife. How about the rest of you? You got some bonds you want to share with us?
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So my first wife.
Your second wife and your third.
No, well, only my first wife, not my second. We divorced in 1986. Let's say. Does the history of this reality have to be exactly the same as our own, or can we have different people?
It depends how much you're planning on changing.
Can my
here.
wife be the president of the United States?
What? No.
No.
Your wife cannot have been the president. Your
Okay,
wife can have
okay.
worked at the White House. Your
Okay.
wife can have
She
been
could
a
be
senior.
my wife is the Secretary of Defense of the
Okay.
United States.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Her name is Nancy Albright.
Nancy Albright, Secretary Albright.
Yeah. She's my wife who I call up on the phone, and yeah, she's the only one I talk to of my 3 wives.
And
Not
she's
Albright. Let's say Nancy Buchanan. There we are. Nancy Buchanan. My first wife is one of my bonds, and my second
Excellent.
bond is with. Can I have a dog?
You can absolutely have a dog. Yes.
Okay, I have a dog. His name is Leper.
Leper the dog.
Leper the dog, and he's a three-legged golden retriever who lives with me on site, and that's my second bond. Leper.
Excellent. You have a dog. You have your ex-wife, who is the Secretary of Defense.
He's 14. My dog is 14.
Oh my god, that's so
and
old.
he's got 3 legs, and he's a golden retriever. And my last bond would be with I don't want it to be with Norman. I hate Norman. My third bond is with the Buddha. Can I be a Buddhist? I mean,
Yes,
I know
you
Buddhists
can.
don't worship a Buddha. That's not how it works. But I don't think that Norman understands Buddhism.
No, so
And he thinks it's like a monotheistic religion, and he thinks that he has to worship the Buddha. So I think he has in his room with his dog Leper. There's also a fat Buddha, one of those ones,
Amazing.
which he talks to, and that's his other bond.
That's his other bond?
with his
good
statue
bond.
of a Buddha.
So some of our bonds so far are a statue of a Buddha, a dog, a computer, one of the rest of the team, and the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
And and one of your wives who cross-dresses in order to deliver food to the base. Oh my god. Oh dear. What about Piff? What's going on in Piff's life?
Well, he has got an old comrade called Flappy Gimble. His name was Flappy, and he went through all of basic training with Flake, every single one of them. Then crashed out. So he's pretty much the only friend he had. But through a bizarre set of circumstances, just always I was in basic training with him, and he's probably, because it's 98. I think can he just talk to like his dead mum, but like a picture.
So he has a relationship with. He has a bond with the memory of his mother.
Kind of like when he sort of like sits there and he like talks to his beer, like, I'm gonna do this for you, Ma, and he's sort of that that kind of person. Sort of like sits there when he's down, or when he needs a bit of a boost. He goes and sits and talks to his mum, but she's dead.
Okay, we can work with that. It's unorthodox, but I think we can work with it.
I mean, I don't know how your bond with that, how they're going to get more upset and angry. I mean,
Yeah. How is your relationship with your deceased parent going to break down? Are you going to start blaming them for things?
I mean, maybe because they're not there for them. Things go bad, and eventually, discard the memory of his mum.
If we play those scenes out, they're going to have to be like the form of monologues of just Piff slowly descending into the darkness.
I mean, if it makes it more interesting, yeah, because I'd quite like you to play his mum anyway.
So you're going to hear her voice.
Oh, yeah. It's a full-on, in the film, he'd just be like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. And then she's there being like, oh, you just got to believe in yourself. I believe in your son. I'm like, yeah, no, Mom, no. So like that.
And as it deteriorates, she's going to be like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. you I never liked you. God damn
I think
it,
it should be the truth for Leper and the Buddha as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leper's going to be difficult, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got the memory of your mother and your former flight buddy, who you still in touch with.
And don't worry, I have barely a bond with either of them.
Yeah, you're not good friends with any of these people.
No, score is 7.
I can't believe Jerry's not that much friends with his dog.
I know.
Even the dog doesn't like you that much. Oh my gosh. All right then. So these are our characters. This is kind of everything we need to start these characters, to give them a little start in Platte Air Force Base. So do you want to do a little extra scene to just get us into this? Do you want to meet these characters in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to open up with a long shot looking down on just the rolling, empty fields of Nebraska, the heartland of America. Is it the heartland of America? I can't remember. I'm not sure what the heartland of America is, but it's right in the heart of America. And we're looking down on a remote Air Force base. It is miles from anywhere. It's a long, long way away from it. And as we zoom in, we see the date, 22nd of August, 1998. I don't want to freak you out, but the date for the adventure we are playing, that it starts, is the 22nd of August, which is the day we are recording this. So, this is exactly back on time. Let's start off in the mess. It's around lunchtime. It's the afternoon, so it's maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. Life on Platte Air Force Base is pretty slow. Not much happens here. The people who've been sent here have been sent here because they want to be forgotten, or because the Air Force is trying to somehow come up with a reason not to just fire them. So they pretty much just while away the days until a plane maybe comes in that they can strip out, and then they're back to sitting around. They're on a lot of duties other than maintenance and repairs, keeping an eye on the fuel, checking for fire prevention measures, things like that, manning the control tower. But at the moment, the three of you are not on duty, and you're looking forward to it because tonight is poker night. Tonight is Saturday night. Saturday night is poker night, and it's the best night because it's the one chance you get to really take money from your superior officers. It's a chance you get to actually make out with some good money, and it's the one thing that relieves the boredom. The worst thing that can happen is that you get a duff assignment on a Saturday night and you get sent, and you end up having to miss out on the poker game, which Major Jones has been known to do from time to time if people really rile him the wrong way. Major Jones is he's a strict disciplinarian. He runs a tight base if he can keep his own drinking in order. We're going to start in the mess because we're going to be in a mess fairly soon. So why not start in one? The mess is a very simple, mess. That is a very lofty way of describing it. It's a small kitchen with kind of just the abilities for people to make their own food. Everyone kind of makes their own meals here. There are kitchen cupboards with some pots and pans and dishes. There's a couple of tables. The three of you are sitting around having a late lunch, along with a couple of members of staff from the base. There is Airman Brian Sieber, who is a young man of 19. He's got sandy-coloured hair. He's very earnest. He loves being in the Air Force. Doesn't quite get why he's been sent there. And Senior Airman Theodore LaCroix. LaCroix is in charge of aircraft maintenance. He's the one who's in charge of keeping an eye on the boneyard and making sure that nothing is degrading to a terrible extent. He's a little older. He's 21. He likes the ladies. I say a little older. Compared to you guys, these are children. Like they literally probably are young enough to be two of your kids. LaCroix turns to Sieber across the table and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Sieber. You're all of these things. People talk about the strange things that happen out here, and I'll be honest, I've never seen it. Sieber was like, it's true. I saw it. I read it in the local paper the other day. They found another one. Hey, you guys, you heard about the? I don't know why he's in It's a Wonderful Life. But,
Yeah.
it's not the bank's money.
I wish I had $1 million.
What an interesting situation.
Oh. Suzu's pedals.
Oh, I was reading in the local paper. It's in now. I was reading in the local paper. They found a cow. They found a cow mutilated in one of the farmers' fields, not 30 miles from here. And I've been keeping a track on them. That's gotta be like the 100th one in the last 10 years. I'm telling you, there's something. You put that together with the lights that people see in the sky. I think there's something out here. What do you guys think?
I'm so engrossed in this.
Oh, you're talking to us.
This fucking kid.
I think.
So the three of you are sat around the table with these two. What do you guys eat for your lunches? Like, bear in mind, you can only get basic stuff from the shop.
He probably eats like corned beef and like
Grits.
just like
What are grits?
Norman sitting there. He's as I say, he's wearing like a white shirt. He's got his trousers, but they're a little bit pulled up, a little bit too far. So he's got quite high trousers. He's got like a little chest pocket, but he's got pens in his chest pocket. But he's got that little like the thing that you can put in the chest pocket to not get all ink in your chest pocket. He's got black rim thick glasses, but make his eyes look really big, and he's got like side parting black hair. He's sucking on a carton of orange juice, a little small one, and he's got like he's got sandwiches, but they're cut into like fingers, a cheese sandwich. He looks up at the guy and goes, what did you say? The lights?
People in the town say that they see lights sometimes flying above. At night, you see just these strange lights flying in the sky.
Hey, Chuck! Did you hear that, Chuck?
I heard him. Yeah, I heard him, Tully.
Chuck, what do you think,
I
Chuck?
should have a fucking opinion?
What?
Do you think I should have a fucking opinion, Tully?
Well, I just, you're one of the best pilots around here. I just thought, you
Just
could...
because this boy heard about lights in the sky and 100 cows going missing doesn't mean I should give a fuck.
I like the way as well that Tully's turning more and more into Rick, into Morty.
Yeah. I'm feeling out.
I tell you what, it seems to me that people around here like their beef rare. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck are you talking
The
about?
mutilated cows, Chuck. The mutilated cows.
So you think they're after beef?
What?
You think these aliens are coming here for raw beef?
No, I think that don't believe in aliens.
You think they don't got cars in space?
Nah, there's no such thing as aliens. It's people. There's some sicko out there mincing up the beef.
I've seen things on the internet. It says...
What's the internet?
The internet, it's definitely around now.
I know,
it's
but
1998.
but I'm not some fucking geek. I mean, I don't look at the internet.
Fucking talking about, Tully?
If you're talking about that thing that takes like half an hour to load each page with like the boxes with the wireframe and it goes from the top and it makes it.
You know, none of us can use our phones when you're on the internet,
Yeah,
Tully.
All you need to do is just connect a modem, and then you
Shut up,
just,
Tully.
Okay.
You know, you gotta ask permissions. The whole base's phone system gone down every time you're looking up your internets.
Well, it's the only way I can chat to other people in our flight simulator club that we have.
The fuck is he talking about?
Tully, give me your lunch money.
Okay. I don't really have. Isn't it free? Isn't it
Shut up.
free?
Give me money.
Canteen.
Shut up.
Too terrible.
It is free, Tully. It is free. He's just fucking with you.
I've seen lights when I go outside, and I
Yeah,
see
it's the
in
sun,
the night.
Tully. It's the sun.
Oh, is
You
it?
should go outside more often.
I should really. He plays with his
I
glasses.
mean, it could be aircraft. We're on an aircraft base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go in the. I only see when I'm in the tower at night, because I don't really get to do anything in the day, because they always tell me.
Okay, he's still talking.
They always tell me.
Still talking.
Hey Norman, your shift's ended now. It seems to be every time that there's a plane coming into the tower, that they tell me that you can go home now. Anyway, Chuck, I really like you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You are interrupted at that point by the sound of a vehicle outside, which is an unusual thing. You certainly don't get visitors. If one of you stands up, LaCroix stands and goes and looks out the window. If any of you join, and kind of strokes his moustache, and like, "What have we got here?" And you see a black van driving down the main road from the main entrance. A couple of guards, just closing the gate behind it. It drives all the way. It's a long old drive. You sort of watch it come from the distance, drive up past the mess hall, and drives up to the administration office, where, as you watch, you see Major Jones step out in his uniform, rubbing his eyes a little at the sun. A man in a nondescript looking suit gets out of the van, goes and talks to the Major Friddlewell, shows him some papers. The Major looks at them, hands them back to him, and then goes back into his office. The man gets back into the van, the engine starts up again, and it drives past the mess and off north into the base towards the boneyard, further into the base. LaCroix turns around and goes, "A little unusual, don't you think? I think we're due a supply drop today."
What time of day is it?
So it's 3 in the afternoon, 3 p.m. 1500 hours.
Yeah. 1500.
1500.
Oh, 1,500
Hey,
hours.
did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was weird.
pretty weird.
Pretty strange, all right, but so what?
I feel like it's somebody telling us that we have to follow him into the boneyard.
Well, but it's,
I'm not
Well,
sure.
I'm silly to my grits.
I mean, get grits on the
You know
go.
they do much better things than grits.
I know, I like my grits. Did you know Nebraska is the state capital of grits?
No, I know they do lots of corn.
Corn grits. It's made of corn, Norman.
Oh,
Good old-fashioned corn grits.
can I try some?
There's some in that basin over there.
He walks over to
There's
the
a
base.
metric ton of grits.
What, you've just been eating your lunch out the wash basin?
The wash basin is just full of grits. Mmm.
Oh,
All right, well,
it tastes.
maybe we should follow that thing into the boneyard. Why not?
Maybe we should.
I don't think we should do anything without checking with the commander.
You always got to check with the
like-
commander. That's your problem. Should be more like me. I never
that's
check
that-
with the commander.
Well, that's the whole point of the military. You gotta check with the commander on things.
Well, we're
supposed to
allowed to
do-
go places and do things and walk
We're on
around.
our break. We can do what we like.
Yeah,
Seba.
it's not a dictatorship.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Trust me, I've been in the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. And I never followed orders in any of them.
That's because you were kicked out of every single one
I
of
wasn't
them.
kicked out, I walked out after they asked me to leave.
Why did you do them all?
Fuck off.
What?
You shovel a handful of grits out of the basin
Oh, God.
into your
Well,
bowl.
I'm going to have to look up grits.
Basin grits.
Mmm, delicious. Seba accepts a handful of grits as well and sort of puts them on and wipes his hand. Oh, I wish we bought some towels. I got grits on my hand now. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't wait for poker night tonight.
Yeah, we better get back in time
Yeah.
for poker.
As long as nothing goes wrong, I think I'm going to take you chumps for all you've got. Hey? And he does like a little playful little punchy.
Does anyone know why he's doing this?
I'm not sure.
All right, Seba, we understand. Now, fuck off.
Seba like stops from it and then like sadly bows his head and just walks out of the door and kind of stands there for a bit and then pokes his head back in and goes, well, it looks like there's some fellas come out of that van. Oh, wonder what they're up to, but and he kind of looks at you and he's like, sorry, I'll keep fucking off. I apologize.
Yeah, keep fucking off.
All right. He
Keep fucking off, Seba.
Yeah, keep fucking off.
You see him through the window just backing away from the mess hall.
You
Can I get my grits?
You got him, Chuck. Well done.
I mean,
Anyway, well, I suppose we better go look at this van. It's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. May as well have a look. I get up and go to the door,
You get up and you head to the door.
wheezing.
Wheezing from the effort of all the grits. And that is where we will leave it for this week. Welcome to Platte AFB. We will find out what is going on with the mysterious van and what is going on the base. You can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Danger Club Podcast if you want to hear the other episodes of this series and hear how it all goes down with us, just a group of terrible people. I can't wait to see how it happens. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Woo.
Bye.
Only every 2 weeks.
Damn it, Tully, you're right. See you in 2 weeks.